So, Laurie, are you going to do your King Arthur review as Guy Ritchie's, like a Guy Ritchie guy?
Well, because, Guy Ritchie himself, I don't really know. Like, he's just an odd chap. He doesn't really sound like his characters, but his characters would be a bit more
very distinctive, like...
All right, chap, yeah.
Laurie's
right.
sweaty face.
Let me tell you a story, all right? Yeah.
I'm Laurie's sweaty face.
So there's this lad, yeah? Arthur, one of the lads. The thing is, his dad might have been a big deal once, but now he's out on the streets with us.
I'm loving it, it's great. Yeah. Keep going, Laurie, keep going.
And he's not so bad after all, right? That royal blood in his veins didn't do him any harm. He's charming, he's loyal, and he knows how to drink a pint. Yeah? Come on, I can't keep this up.
When does Jude Law fit in?
Yeah, he doesn't sound like that, thankfully. Can I just do the thing normally?
Okay,
hey,
fine.
Listeners, if you've ever wondered what the Knights of the Round Table would be like as the lads of the Round Table, then this film is for you. Guy Ritchie has a go at the great Arthurian legend, and he's just, I mean, one thing I love about Guy Ritchie, Phil, and listeners, if you don't know his films, he's Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. He
did Sherlock Holmes and all those, that and Robert Downey Jr. version.
Yeah, the sort of frenetic, can you tell what's going on? No, I can't. Fast talking, fast cuts, fast editing, but very stylish, right?
And
you know it's a Guy Ritchie film.
Popcorny, yeah.
He brings all of that, and he is 100% Guy Ritchie to one of the most sort of solid, calm historical tales of all time, and decides, I'm going to do what I want with this. In fact, even more than that, I believe Warner Brothers came to him and said, look, Ritchie, we want to make a 6-film series about King Arthur. Can you believe Phil is looking surprised? I was
6 films?
6 films! And this is supposed to be the launch-off point for 6 films. So, look, let's get actually into it. The way that he's recreated it is that Camelot is a giant castle with a massive bridge near the ancient city of Londinium in England. Guess which city Londinium might be, Phil?
Where's London? It used to be called Londinium.
So they say, yeah, okay, right. That's not what I say either. And we enter the movie as it is being besieged by the evil mage Mordred, who is a terrifying magician, assaulting it with all his forces. But fortunately, Uther Pendragon, aka Eric Bana, steps in, foils the plot. But someone betrays Uther Pendragon right at the point of his victory and usurps the throne. It turns out that's Jude Law, who is Uther Pendragon's brother. So fast forward, Jude Law is on the throne. The lakes around Camelot recede mysteriously. They reveal a sword in the stone, and it is Excalibur in the stone. So Jude Law is terrified. This is a bad omen, basically. So he rounds up all the men of a certain age because he wants to be absolutely sure that Uther's heir isn't still alive. But as you have probably guessed, he is still alive. And it turns out he's this likely lad, right? He's this likely lad who's been living on the streets of London all this time. His dad fortunately pushed him away in a boat. So he's grown up in a brothel, learned street smarts, but he's also learned how to be a good guy. He can't deny the nobility that's in his blood.
And this is played by Charlie Hunnam, the guy from Sons of Anarchy and Pacific Rim.
Exactly right, Phil. And lo and behold, he does pull the sword from the stone. And I'm explaining all this plot so that we can get to the clip that we have, because this is the point at which Jude Law has a face-to-face with who he now realises is his nephew, the rightful heir to his throne. So let's hear them have a little chat in the clink.
You've got the wrong man, sire. I was born in a brothel on a bridge in Londinium.
The sword can only be drawn by Uther Pendragon or his direct heir. You felt it, didn't you? The power. That's what put you out. You just don't know how to control it.
So what happens now?
You know what happens now. You're quickly becoming a legend.
There we go, very portentous. And now I'll take a deep breath. And you know, the thing is, I'm remembering Guy Ritchie's film, and I'm remembering the pace that this goes at and the speed at which all his characters talk. And it's making me want to, like, accelerate, Phil.
Just take a deep breath, man. It's all good. Let's be serious
I can't cleanse
reviewers.
the Guy Ritchie out of my system, Phil. Let's be too deeply in there.
Take off the Guy Ritchie hat, put on the movie critic. And what did you make of this film?
Well, Phil, basically, listeners, it might have been something to do with the screening area that I was in, which I haven't been to before. It was at Warner Brothers, fantastic room. But my goodness, I was absolutely deafened. I was pummeled into my seat. I felt like it was a scene where you're being hyper accelerated and you're sort of melting
in hyperspace.
Like, it was so loud. all the time. Like the score has been super compressed. Look up some other clips on YouTube, listeners. It's this guy, Daniel Pemberton, and I just couldn't handle it. Like the drums are insane. The bass is omnipresent. There are these horn stabs. It's deafening. And people are screaming and shouting half the time as well. And when you add in Guy Ritchie's approach to editing, which is fast cuts all the time, and a lot of flashbacks and backstories and side plots explained rapid fire by Cockney geezers who are like, yeah, what's that, Bill? Goose Fat Bill, yeah. They call him that because he slipped through the bars so many times. And you were talking to Backlat, weren't you? Yeah, Backlat, that's right. Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was.
I'm exhausted even hearing
I know,
it.
but it really is. It's so like that. I was just tired, man. I almost found it hard to even remember the film properly because it was so exhausting.
But having said all that, man, I'm kind of intrigued. I kind of want to see it. I watched the clip while you were playing it. It looks kind of fun.
Well, the key thing is that loads of critics are just slating it and saying, what happened here? The budget is ridiculous. And I think they're right about that. It cost $175 million to make. They're predicting an extra $100 million in marketing costs on top, which means it's an absolute mountain to climb at the box office. It's still battling Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I think if you're going to go and watch it, try and shove all that outside of your mind and just enjoy the film as it's presented. And what it aims for, I think it succeeds in. It just tries to be entertaining. It tries to be, light-hearted. There's more than a wink at the audience the entire way through. Guy Ritchie can't not do it because he is so in love with that kind of charming, witty banter thing. And he's so in love with making Arthur this kind of superhero. And, he has giant elephants knocking castles apart. Excalibur isn't just a mythical sword anymore. It's like kind of this magical staff thing. When he holds it with two hands, it becomes like a powered-up sword from a video game. And when he sweeps it, it's like blasts people hundreds of miles away. Like, it is so pumped up to the maximum. There's nothing in between very normal, fairly quiet scenes and absolutely to the max in your face. You're going to die if if it goes on too long. Like there's no in between. So I think it's really entertaining, but it is an endurance test.
Is it a bit like an energy drink?
It's like you're necking 5 of them and taking 10-minute gaps in between. That's the pacing and how it works. I think the performances are really strong. I think Jude Law is great. He manages to play this really wicked character with surprising gravitas, and you believe that he's a rounded portrait, even though it's like a comic book character.
In my head, it's sort of ringing bells of the Robin Hood with Kevin Costner. Is that at all similar, but just
very,
a modern
very similar,
version?
But turned up beyond what is really palatable for everybody. But yeah, I think it's actually going to find a cult audience, basically, because it is so stylized. And Guy Ritchie knows what he's doing. He's got a really good visual sense, and there's a lot of creativity. There's some shots I particularly loved where the camera, it's almost like GoPro on someone's shoulder, and they run through a city. So if you can imagine the GoPro having a very close profile of someone while they run, that means that their head is steady, but the walls behind them in the shot are kind of going up and down and all. Can you picture that?
Yeah, I can.
Guy Ritchie, he's really creative, but no one has sort of edited him. No one has said, all right, Ritchie, that's great and everything.
Calm it down a little bit.
No one has done that. But yeah, so I hope you can get the picture. It's a big muddle of a film. Good performances. Charlie Hunnam, I think, is great, actually. I really like him. Aiden Gillen is fine as this sort of smarmy Irish guy, Goose Fat Bill. Everyone is fine. It's a Cockney good time in medieval England. I can't think of anything more to say, Phil. It's ridiculous.
Well, can I ask you about David Beckham?
Oh, yes. Yes, you can. What do you want to ask me about Beckham?
Well, I just know that he's in it. He has like a cameo, is it? Or is it quite an actual role?
It's definitely a cameo. I liked it. I'll put it out there. Guy Ritchie is known for introducing Vinnie Jones to the world. Were you aware of that film?
Yeah.
So he's taken another footballer and said, you know what? Here's your second lease of life. Movie star time. He even speaks in the film, and I didn't find it teeth-gratingly awful the way other critics have described it. I think it's totally fine. It's very distracting, but it's totally fine.
Is this the sort of film where you weirdly sort of kind of get behind it, even though it's a bit of a clunker? Or is this that people have set up in their mind, this isn't a good film, and they want to attack it because it's Guy Ritchie, because it's a bit frenetic, because it's got David Beckham in? The main criticism I have for it is its budget, because the impression I get is that it didn't need to have that much money spent on it. And if it hadn't spent so much money, then the expectations would be much lower. I wouldn't say that people are getting it wrong. I think it is just bizarre. Like the whole sort of shebang, it just makes not very much sense. But I would not at all be surprised if most people enjoy themselves. What sort of grade would you give it? I'd probably give it a B. Yeah, it's definitely different. And I can't say I hated it, but I was exhausted. I couldn't handle the volume and the pace. Any bonuses to go with it? Old. I don't think I can't really say it properly without spoiling it, but the way that the round table is introduced
is so ridiculous. It's basically embarrassing, and you know that the actors at that scene are all thinking, this is ridiculous.
Does it like come up out the ground or something?
No, I can't even begin to tell you. Like, there's one part of it where Guy Ritchie's brilliant sense for dialogue, it has people trying to guess what a table is, as if it's not obvious that it's a table. What's this? What's this here then? And the point is, it's the round table. Like, it's just, yeah, I can't, Phil. I don't know what to say.
I don't really know how to gauge your reaction to it, because you gave it a B, but like, it seems like it was awful and brilliant at the same time, in kind of a weird mishmash of everything.
You're right. It's awful and brilliant at the same time. So I can't give it a bad grade. It's okay. It's just so
it's
weird.
A B. It's a B.
Yep.